Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is Monday morning, May 8th. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I'm standing alongside the polderbaan, where it is still a bit misty, but it is opening up slowly but surely. Goedemorgen Wilma and good morning Steve J. Welcome to the stream. We are awaiting the first airplane of the stream, a Cessna Citation 525 from Atlas Air Service, arriving from Bremen in Germany. Hey Mats, good morning, long time no see. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hey Marius, goedemorgen. So, at the moment the weather conditions are such that it is a bit hard to see the planes well in advance. I will show you in a moment the bigger picture. It is opening up. At the moment, polderbaan is the only runway in use for arrivals. The airplane is so small that this is when I am fully zoomed in. Now with the big jets you would see all kinds of details, and over here it is still a very small plane. Goedemorgen vliegtuigspotter Hoofddorp. 68 Twig, good morning from a very wet Yorkshire in England. Well, humidity over here is 100% as well, although it is dry, and it is said that the sun is coming out later today. We are expecting some precipitation later in the day for the east of the country, but not so much for the west where we are at. Now it is still misty, as you guys can see. It's hard to see the control tower in the distance, the polderbaan control tower. You do see it, so it is opening up. There's hardly any wind. What wind there is blowing from the south. And the mist is set to clear later in the morning in the upcoming hours. You can already tell that it is starting to open up. Peter K, good morning. And Peter PDK, also good morning. Good to see you all on this Monday morning. Hope you are all doing well. We also have the first grebe of the day over here. Chilling in the water. Beautiful, look at that. Pretty bird. You can see its reflection in the water as well. In the meantime, the next airplane is touching down. Let's see, yeah, there it is, Air Baltic A220. Hey there North Sky Aviation, good morning. Peter van der Eyck, goedemorgen, good morning. And indeed a very nice grebe. It is still a bit foggy. As I said, it is opening up already. I can already see. Yeah, it's, for you guys on camera it's probably not, you cannot tell that it is clearing up already compared to when I was setting up. So I am expecting things to improve in the upcoming hour. Now the next airplane to arrive is KLM flight 644. 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from New York JFK. After 6.5 hours of flight, touching down in a few moments. This airplane, 3 years old, had its first flight in November 2019. New York vibes all over it, says Peter. North Sky Aviation says, looks exactly the same as Newcastle did yesterday. Maybe we inherited your weather from over there and are enjoying it today. Next up is going to be an A319 from EasyJet arriving from London Gatwick. EasyJet flight 28674. A319 that departed from Gatwick 48 minutes ago. 14-year-old airplane. First flight February 2009. And Edwin is saying that in East Groningen the sun is out and nice weather. I think it is a Randstad thing. The rest of the country to the east of Utrecht, is already having good weather. Hopefully for a long time to come. Now over here it is said that the sun is coming out later in the morning and the fog is going to clear. I think I see the A319 there. How's the audio for you guys? I kept the shotgun mic on the same setting as I had yesterday, so a bit louder than a few days ago, so that the relatively quiet airplanes are a bit louder. I also did a little switching in the gain settings in my voiceover mic, so if I tested it correctly it should sound the same in volume as earlier, but I hope maybe the interference you sometimes hear becomes less, or maybe even fully gone away. There are several stages where you can set the gain. I use a wireless DJI mic to transmit the signal to my switcher. So there's a gain setting in the transmitter, in the receiver, and also in the ATEM Mini software. Tried balancing stuff out a bit, although it was never in the yellow or in the red. I hope this might improve things a little. Speedbird A321. Next up is going to be a 777. Too bad, Peter, that you can't stay for too long, but every minute that you can be here is of course very much appreciated. Gezellig. Audio is fine, just fine, excellent. Just what I was looking for. And yes, Chunky, good morning, you're right. The fog should burn off. Next up is KLM flight 598 777 in the Sky Team livery, originating from Cape Town in South Africa, where it left 11 hours ago. Now this is a 777-300ER we are expecting, 13 years old, had its first flight in August 2009. Hey there Evan, what's up my man? Bit foggy over here still, although not cold. 14 degrees centigrade, 58-ish Fahrenheit. The wheelie competition has begun. First competitor. bar has been set. Well, it is promising to become a gorgeous day over here, Evan. As soon as the fog clears a little. I mean, it is not extremely dense. You can see the trees in the distance. Here at ground level, visibility is relatively okay, but it is hard to see the final stages of the airplane's landing at the moment, just because a bit higher up it is still somewhat densely fogged. Hey Gosse, goedemorgen. Paul, good morning. Travel with Mark F. asks, is the spot where you are easy to get to from Schiphol, as I'm an avid spotter from the UK? Well, it is reachable by car and by bike. Don't know what the public transportation situation is, where the first bus stop in the vicinity would be. I always get here by car, and it's easily reachable by car. Also, if you can rent a bike, you can also get there easily, because there is a cycling path next to the place I'm standing at. But from the terminal building itself, don't know for sure how easy it would be, particularly if you're relying on public transportation, which I'm assuming you would be. At the moment, a couple of heavies are arriving. The next airplane is a 7879 Dreamliner from Air Europa, arriving from Madrid. Hey Casper, goedemorgen. And Gosse, no, don't have a cold. In fact, my nose is not even stuffed at the moment. Next up, we're awaiting the arrival of Air Europa Flight 1091, 7879 Dreamliner, originating from Madrid in Spain, where it left 2 hours 4 minutes ago. The airplane we are about to see, 3 years old, had its first flight in August 2019. And good morning, Victor. Checking in from Frankfurt Airport. Hope visibility is better over there than it is over here at the moment. Now there's hardly any wind. What wind there is coming from the south. So I'm expecting that the Polderbaan is going to stay in use for arrivals the rest of the morning at least, if not the entire day. And the wheelie competition continues. Competitor number 2. Okay, so that should have woken up everybody. Even though it was just a short distance flight, relatively speaking, for such a big aircraft, they did use the reverse thrust there royally. Hey Martin, goedemorgen. Marius informing us that in Apeldoorn, not far to the east of Utrecht, so near the Randstad relatively speaking, the sun is already coming out. Okay, and Victor says that the visibility in Frankfurt is the same. Oh dear. Good morning, Damien. Checking in from Krakow, who will soon be in Amsterdam. Well, very nice, man. When are you coming over? And Evan has probably woken up just some of his neighbors. Okay, next up is an A321 from Finnair arriving from Helsinki. It already touched down. Looks like it's going to vacate the runway over here. First exit, and indeed it is doing just that. Next up is going to be a CRJ from SAS originating from Stockholm by the looks of it. Hey, good morning, Daniel. What's the weather like in Budapest? Hopefully not as foggy as it still is over here. Next up, SAS flight 1553 CRJ 900 arriving from Stockholm, where it left an hour and 42 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 14 years old, had its first flight in January 2009. Hey Yorkshire, good morning my friend. How's life? So the narrow bodies are still a bit hard to see and have already touched down once I do spot them. And SAS CRJ, mostly in white for some reason. Sounds like Daniel has had better weather over there in Budapest than we did over here. I was planning on going out yesterday, but the weather in the morning was already so-so, and later in the afternoon we did have some thunder showers. The weather was very unstable in that respect, so I figured I'd take the day off. I did do a little bit of cycling in the morning. Now I was hoping that today it would be better, and it is going to be better. We'll just have to wait it out a little in terms of visibility. Hey Wendy, goedemorgen. Confirming that the sun is already out in the north of the country. Still the western part of the country, the Randstad, is still somewhat foggy at the moment. Yeah, exactly, Yorkshire. Coincidentally, I chatted with Bart yesterday evening over WhatsApp. And he did tell me that he had to pack in because of the showers that were surrounding him. He did manage to get back in one piece, fortunately, but if you guys watched his stream yesterday, then you guys have probably seen the weather, what the weather was like over here yesterday afternoon. JWB confirming in the north of the country, full of the sun is fully out there. Excellent. That means it's only a matter of time before the sun will come out here as well. Little private jet there. G-late. All right. Didn't see that one on flight radar. What I am seeing is that there is an A330 arriving anytime soon. From KLM, arriving from Bonaire. KLM flight 767, which ironically is an A330. Left Bonaire 8 hours 5 minutes ago, and the airplane we're about to see, 11 years old, had its first flight in February 2012. There it is. Competitor number 3 for the wheelie competition. I think the 777-300 was still the winner, is still the winner. Now you can also see that there's a 747 flying downwind. Will be arriving soon, as Martin was already referring to. Well, and in the end it was still pretty decent weather yesterday morning, but by the time I was planning on going out, there were still a few showers on the radar. I figured, well, if they are going to develop any further, I don't want to be out there. But in the end it turned out to be relatively decent weather in the morning. Now next up is going to be an Embraer 190 arriving from Geneva, KLM flight 1926, 7-year-old airplane. First flight December 2015, left Geneva an hour and 17 minutes ago. I think I see it visually and also have it over here on camera. In a somewhat, for KLM, atypical standard. This one slowing down and vacating at the first exit. And Dave Bruce says, coming to Schiphol for 4 days of spotting in 10 days time on the 18th of this month. Hopefully by then the weather is going to be better than it has been over the last week. Hopefully these are the last days with fog and rain showers. Saturday was a very decent day. Definitely have to remember to bring sunscreen along this time of year. Did end up somewhat as a red lobster after that stream. EasyJet A319 arriving from Prague. Hey there, Colin Mac, good morning. How is life? Dave hasn't been to Schiphol since 2017. In that case, I can imagine that you're looking forward to going back again. Don't think that a lot has changed in the meantime in terms of runways or spotters places. So in that sense, it should be very familiar altogether. Good morning, Belgian Rail. How's life over there in Belgium? Next up, and there I have it. Lufthansa A319 arriving from Munich, where it left an hour and 11 minutes ago. This particular airplane is 19 years old. Had its first flight in February of 2004. Getting over there, first exit. Meanwhile, there's also some farm vehicle busy on the field. Heard it behind me. Don't know exactly what it is for. Harvesting or... There you go. Narrow tires. Big wheels. Now the bigger picture, as you guys can see, visibility isn't that bad, on ground level at least. Looking up, hard to capture on footage, but it does look like things are opening up a bit. So this is Croatia Airlines arriving from Zagreb. If you look closely, you can see that there is one of the bird controller vehicles. Kinda cloudy over there in Belgium too, says Belgian Rail. Hopefully things will get better soon there. Next up is an Air Charter Scotland airplane. Embraer Legacy 650 arriving from London Luton. Looking at the picture on Flight Radar, it looks like a nice livery. Where is it? Do have it visually. Ah, there it is. Little bit of reverse thrust there, not too long. Nice livery. G-SUGR. Well, if anybody knows whose airplane that is, do let us know. I'm always curious when I see private jets who the owner is. Don't know much about them, but It's always interesting to learn. And as Belgian Rail was saying, we'll be getting 747 Singapore cargo. Looks like 2 more planes are in front of it. The first of which is going to be an ITA Airways A319 arriving from Milan. Arriving from Milan, where it left an hour and 28 minutes ago. This airplane, 10 years old. Even when it is foggy, it's still a very pretty livery to look at. Makes the blue pop out even more, at least on my little screen on the camera. Also a bit of squeakiness in the brakes. Now 18C is also being used for arrivals at the moment by the sound of it. I'm also looking at flight radar. Okay, the Queen is coming, but not yet. Before the Queen arrives, first KLM flight 1002, arriving from London Heathrow. 737-800. 22 years old, this one. First flight November 2000. Typical KLM landing. Continuing a bit further on the runway, taking a later exit. Not the highest of speeds though, but making sure to vacate the runway in time for the Queen. Singapore Airlines cargo, Boeing 747-400, arriving from Nairobi, and it left Nairobi 8 hours 37 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 19 years old, had its first flight in August 2003. That's a bit of a shame that we don't get to see it further in advance due to the visibility. Trying to see if I can make it out visually already so that I can zoom in as quickly as possible. Big picture. Slowly but surely it is opening up. You can also see a bit of the trees that are behind the runway in the distance. If you look to the right. There we go. Now, hopefully that was not too deafening for you guys. Definitely a good sound to wake up to on a foggy Monday morning. Hey Remco, goedemorgen, good morning. Arnhem, Apeldoorn, Heerenveen, Leeuwarden, everywhere outside of the Randstad, the sun is out already. Won't be long before the sun will also appear over here. Now next up, it's looking to be Delta Airlines Flight 162, A330-300, arriving from Minneapolis, where it left 7 hours and 48 minutes ago. The airplane we're awaiting, 15 years old, had its first flight in August 2007. And when was that tornado in Austria, Peter? Was that recently? Yeah, if the weather gets if the atmosphere gets really turbulent, you can get those on occasion. I remember not too long ago we also had a little tornado in Amsterdam Central, no less. There's this body of water next to Central Station, towards the city. And exactly on that water there was a little tornado. There were also some footage taken by some of the inhabitants of the arks, the boats you can live in, that are also lying there. Really frightening to see. So up close. Okay, the Delta A330 should be nearby. According to flight radar. Still waiting for the first signs of it. I think I do see the lights. Yeah, there it is. Everything was looking so serene, and then all of a sudden one of these machines comes passing by with the reverse thrust on. Ah, and it was last Saturday, Peter. Okay. Well, you did already say in the stream back then that it was that thunderstorms were expected. Hopefully nobody got hurt from the tornado in Austria. And thank God that everything passed you by on a safe distance. Although from a safe distance I would not mind seeing a tornado in real life once. As long as nobody gets hurt and you're on a safe distance away. Now I see that the grebe is accompanied by a second grebe. I think it is a second grebe, or is that? Oh, that's a coot. Oh, it's two coots, sorry. Doing a little diving. Now, let's have a look on flight radar. A lot of traffic is arriving. At the moment, a little lull, but I do see a couple of heavies arriving from San Francisco, Curacao. Those are coming this way. First, also a Dreamliner arriving from Las Vegas that is now flying base in the vicinity of Alkmaar. So it's going to take a few minutes before it's going to get here. And before that, we are going to see, I think the first airplane will be an Embraer 190 from British Airways arriving from London City. Hey, guten Morgen Ina, herzlich willkommen. Hope you're doing well, good to see you again. And Remco even wants to go a bit further and chase tornadoes in Tornado Alley. Careful there. They can move unexpectedly and quickly. I think some of the weather reporters over here in the Netherlands also sometimes go there to chase storms. I think that guy from RTL Weather has been there a couple of times. When is tornado season again? Is that, I think, isn't it in fall? Or is it in spring? Fall, right? Or is that hurricane season? Or are they both in the same season, same time of year? Watching a lot Discovery Channel, always a good option. Alright, so the Embraer from British Airways, BA City Flyer, closing in, arriving from London City, where it departed 40 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 11 years old, first flight January 2012. Looking a bit further out, the next airplane is going to be a Dreamliner 7879 arriving from Las Vegas. Now I'm waiting for the Embraer to show itself. Should be close. And yeah, Ina, thank you. I am doing well. Still a bit sunburned from last Saturday. Being out in the sun for 4 hours without sunscreen on meant I came back home as a red lobster. My arms and neck were a bit red, to put it mildly. Lesson learned. Now, there we go. Okay. So, the tornadoes take place in spring and the hurricanes are later in the year. I wasn't sure about the season for tornadoes. I do know that it has to do with warm, humid air from the south clashing with cool polar air arriving from the north, which then clashes over the Midwest and causes all kinds of mayhem. Okay, so now we're awaiting the arrival of KLM flight 636 Dreamliner 7879 arriving from Las Vegas, where it left 9 hours and 31 minutes ago. The Dreamliner we're about to see, 6 years old, had its first flight in June 2016. Ah, El Nino and La Nina. So what is the difference between El Nino and La Nina then? I have heard of the term La Nina, and of course I also have heard of the term El Nino, but what exactly it means and what the differences between the two are, I don't know. I'm always keen to learn new stuff. I can definitely confirm that it is opening up. You can definitely start to see more of the road that is behind the runway. The trees over there along the road are becoming visible better, at least visually. Maybe you guys don't see a big difference on the stream, but in real life you do see that it's opening up. It's just not going as quick as I would love to have seen. There we go. Dreamliner from Las Vegas, 7879. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well, mate. And Jeffrey checking in from Kenya. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. How's life over there in Kenya? And what's the weather like? Is it also foggy? Probably not, but you never know. Alright, so the difference between El Nino and La Nina. El Nino, a lot of dry summers. La Nina, a lot of wet summers. Okay. And more tornadoes in spring with El Nina than with El Nino. And with El Nino more in fall. Ah, okay. Interesting stuff. And what then is the difference between La Nina and El Nino itself? Is there a difference in definition between the two? Now, little Neo in between. And after this Neo, we are going to see some more heavies. Next up is going to be a 777 from KLM. Hey, good morning, Auxilios. Checking in from Greece. Welcome to the stream, my friend. And from where in Greece are you watching right now? German Monster says good morning from sunny Berlin. Totally not making me jealous. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. All other viewers who have in the meantime joined us, good morning. Hey there, Amelie. Almost missed your message. Apologies. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Here we go. 777. United Airlines in the Star Alliance livery, arriving from San Francisco. 13 years old, this airplane. Not the biggest of wheelies, unfortunately. Sky Team 1, Star Alliance 0. Okay. Thanks Remco for elaborating the difference between El Nino and La Nina. Didn't know that that had such a big impact also on the timing of tornadoes. Yorkshire had a fantastic day yesterday over there in the UK, but very wet today. Has been wet over there for a while now, hasn't it? With the exception of yesterday then. Next up, the next 777. Arriving from Curaçao. The camera still has a bit of difficulty focusing in on it. Another wheelie contender. Jeffrey's saying that in Nairobi, Kenya, it is cloudy at the moment. As Remco saying that the people in that plane are really sad coming from nice sunny weather to this shitty weather here. Well, it depends. If they have to travel back towards other parts of the country, they probably are going to see the sun again. And in fact, if you guys are looking closely, you can see that the sun is actually starting to try to come out over here as well. I think it won't be long before the fog will be fully burnt away by the koperen ploert, as we say in Dutch. Roy is not going to await the nice weather arriving in the Netherlands, but actively going out for it himself. Flying to Tenerife Wednesday PM. Won't be there, unfortunately, to see you out, as I have to work on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I can imagine you're very much looking forward to visiting Tenerife. Assuming that it's not one of the 4 or 5 days a year that they are having precipitation over there during your stay. In the meantime, I do feel that the sun is starting to get out. You might see it get brighter as well. So who knows? Quickly put away my water bottle. There's an Embraer 175 touching down. Or about to touch down. Well, it has touched down in the meantime. This one coming in from Southampton. And I think you will indeed be good, Roy, with a stay of 2 weeks, even if there was going to be a few days with bad weather. But knowing Tenerife and the Canary Islands, not very likely, especially not in this time of year. Now, Michael 1985 also confirming that it is better weather up north than it is over here. Although won't be long probably before it starts getting better here as well. Next up, Delta Airlines flight 74, Airbus A350. There it is, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, where it departed 7 hours 47 minutes ago. This particular airplane, still relatively young, 3 years old. Hey, good morning Norbert. Checking in from Berlin, blue sky, 13 degrees centigrade. Over here it is 14 degrees centigrade approximately. It is set to warm up more towards 20 degrees centigrade over the day, particularly if the sun is starting to come out later in the morning. Seems that the next plane is going to be a Boeing 737 arriving from Manchester. Gives me a moment to update the METAR because weather is changing. Let's see what the current status quo is. Go over to flight radar. Copy. Paste. So the latest weather update says that it is blowing with 5 knots from 180, so from the south. Visibility 2,500 feet, still a bit foggy, some scattered clouds, broken clouds. Temperature has risen to 15 degrees and visibility is becoming 3,500 meters. Arriving in the distance is a KLM Boeing 737-700 arriving from Manchester. Left there 47 minutes ago. This airplane is 13 years old and had its first flight in November 2009. Now the sun is really doing its best to burn away the moisture. Next up is going to be an A320 from Iberia Express, arriving from Madrid, where it left 2 hours and 8 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 21 years old, had its first flight in February 2002. Let's zoom out a bit further. The next airplane after that is going to be another 777 from KLM, arriving from Panama City. Alright, so Peter says last year was an F4 tornado in the Czech Republic which killed 6 people and leveled 2 villages. That was even closer to him than the tornado on Saturday. Do they happen so frequently over there then? Because apart from the one tornado in Amsterdam that was taking place a few years ago, I have to think hard and deep to remember if there were any tornadoes over here in the recent history. We don't see them over here very frequently, fortunately. Next to arrive, KLM flight 758. It is a 777 arriving from Panama City, 777-300ER. Left Panama City 8 hours 46 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 15 years old, had its first flight in March 2008. There we go. Steve88 says, good morning, very thanks for your live streaming of landings, have a nice day. Well, good morning to you too, Steve, and thank you so much, and you're welcome. Now, the big picture, this is to the south, this is to the west. You can see the tree line in the distance from the road leading to the Spottersplaats. The situation to the east, and of course this is to the north. Next airplane to arrive is going to be a Boeing 737-800 arriving from Birmingham, where it left 45 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see is 4 years old, had its first flight in March 2019. In the meantime, this Scoot chilling on his, what is it? Little thingy. Don't know what you would call that. Maybe it's from a drainage or something. And where's the 747 Kalita headed to? Don't think we have any Kalitas coming in anytime soon. Let me zoom out a little further. No, there is another 777, expected to be number 2. Also a lot of narrow bodies. First Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Dublin. So next up is KLM flight 934, Embraer 190 arriving from Dublin, Ireland, where it left an hour and 4 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 14 years old, had its first flight in April 2009. After that we are going to see KLM flight 755, a 777-200. That is arriving from Guayaquil. I do see a patch of blue sky as well over here in the meantime. So the sun is really doing its best to open things up further. Okay, the Kalita is flying from Leipzig to Bahrain. Okay, I have the lights visually. Can I also zoom in on them for you? I think there they are. The Embraer vacating at the first exit. Making sure that the runway is clear for KLM flight 755 to arrive. Should be closing in. 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil, 200 ER in fact. Left 10 hours and 8 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see is 18 years old, had its first flight in November 2004. I think I have it. There we go. Not the loudest of landings, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the control tower of the polderbaan starting to become a bit better visible. Now the Schiphol control tower should be in the distance somewhere. That is still a bit challenging to find. Next airplane to arrive is going to be a 737-800 originating from Brussels. KLM flight 1724 left Brussels 30 minutes ago. The airplane, 17 years old, had its first flight in April 2006. Next up is going to be an Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol. KLM flight 1050 left Bristol 51 minutes ago. The airplane, 9 years old, first flight December 2013. Hey André, goedemorgen. The sun is still working hard to burn away the mist that is still out here. The Randstad has not been blessed with sunshine this morning, as the rest of the country. But the sun is doing its best to burn away the moisture. Next up is an Embraer 175 arriving from Lyon in France, KLM flight 1414. Left Lyon an hour and 16 minutes ago. Where is it? There it is. This airplane is 5 years old and had its first flight in April 2018. Vacating the runway at the first exit. Hey Joey, goedemorgen. For the time being. Oh wait, no, I spoke too soon. I was about to say we are expecting narrow bodies, but there is a flight arriving from Lima, number 2. First up, an Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich, KLM flight 1516. This airplane left Norwich 32 minutes ago. The airplane is 6 years old. First flight January 2017. After that we are going to see a 777-200 from KLM arriving from Lima. There it is. Voice mic is intermittent, says Yorkshire. Let me double check everything. Testing, testing. Everything seems to be working on this side, on this end. Hey there, Seth Aviation, good morning. Welcome to the stream, hope you're doing well. We're awaiting the arrival of KLM flight 744 777-200 that is arriving from Lima. I think I have it visually. Let me see. There it is. 777-200 ER arriving from Lima. Left 11 hours ago from Lima. The airplane we're about to see, 19 years old, had its first flight in November 2003. Now looking at flight radar, it looks like, with the exception of the E2 Embraer arriving from Aberdeen, traffic is all being directed to this runway again. Salut Jean-Yves, comment ça va? Good morning. Hey Yorkshire, how's the mic doing right now? Maybe this is also one of those instances where you need to reload the stream, I don't know. On my end everything looks like it's okay. Meanwhile, a group of goods in the distance. Now, it looks like it is opening up gradually. The sky is looking to be thinner. Do see some blue patches here and there. Next up, number 190 arriving from Dublin. That's still a bit hard to see on camera from here, from over here. Ah yeah, there it is. The camera itself also has a little trouble focusing on it still. That's better. Okay, well apparently something is up with my mic. I don't know what it could be because by the looks of it everything seems to be exactly the same as it was during the beginning. Hopefully it will resolve itself. It is indeed a very British day in terms of weather at the moment. The clouds are, or the mist is pulling up ever so slowly, unfortunately. Or at least the speed with which it is clearing up is going slower than I would have liked. Now this is the vehicle you heard passing by just now, as we are awaiting the next airplane to arrive. Hey there Lance, good morning. Hope you're doing well. So there are a couple of planes on approach. The first airplane to arrive is an EasyJet A320 arriving from London Luton, 10 years old, first flight March 2013. Left London 40 minutes ago. Can just about make out the landing lights visually, but it's still hard to capture it on the screen. I think there it is. Okay, Roy says sound now fine. Gijsbers as well. And the funny thing is, guys, I haven't touched anything. It is just randomness. So I'm thinking it might be the transmission, since it is wireless, because I haven't touched anything. No connectors, no nothing. Just checked if everything was still in place and if all the lights were still on that were supposed to be on. So I think it is the randomness of the wireless transmission of the DJI mic then. And Amar asks if I filmed the Turkish. That's a good question, I cannot remember anymore. We did see a few A330s. Whether or not one of them was Turkish, I don't know. Next up is a Transavia Boeing 737-800, flight 5624, arriving from Palma de Mallorca, where it left 2 hours 22 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see, 8 years old, had its first flight in March 2015. And good morning again, Peter PDK. Also starting to hear the firefighters behind me. We should be able to film them following this airplane. And here comes number 3. Okay, so this time round they started their round on this side of the runway instead of the opposite side, or maybe they are doing the round in reverse order, the other way round. I think it might be interference, Yorkshire. The thing is that the DJI mic, I looked into it, and it also is transmitting on 2.4 gigahertz, which is also the frequency my Wi-Fi router is transmitting on. Now they are very close next to each other. I think maybe they sometimes interfere. Can't be because of other wireless sources, because if I show you guys, there is basically no one around me in the close vicinity. Now the sun is actually starting to shine a little bit over here, ever so slightly. So the burning away of the mist, of the fog, is still very much work in progress. Hey, see you later, Joey. Have a nice day. In the meantime, just about to become visible. And where is it? There it is. KLM flight 682. Let me see if I can do better. KLM flight 682 arriving from Vancouver. This is a 777-200 ER. Left Vancouver 8 hours 50 minutes ago. The airplane 17 years old. First flight April 2006. Welcome, Posk. If you're offering coffee, if you're in the vicinity, if you're in the neighborhood, that's something I'm not refusing. Okay, Heron. Just did a flyby. Right. And Ina says that the weather in the Hessian Laan Valley is similar to over here, only that it is raining very lightly there. Thought that it was supposed to get more spring-like in this time of year, but so far the season has been a bit disappointing, and not just in the Netherlands apparently. The convoy of the firefighters in the distance on the other side of the runway, probably on their way back to the base, the fire station. I can see some lights in the distance, so let me turn around the camera and show you guys the next airplane that is arriving. It is an Embraer 190 from KLM. Arriving from... oh wait, it is German Airways. I was getting confused. I see KL and I immediately say KLM, but this is German Airways arriving from Stavanger in the Leysieffer chocolate special livery. So here is the cake to go with the coffee. Coffee and cake on this Monday morning. It started out quite misty and is getting ever less misty as we speak. Now this is the Koet. I haven't seen the Grebe anymore since it showed itself on the beginning of the stream. Up next, another Embraer 190 from KLM. For a moment I thought that there were 2 consecutive flights coming in from Stavanger, but I was zoomed out too much. This plane we saw was arriving from Glasgow. And yet another Embraer 190 is approaching. And all Dutchies drink Douwe Egberts coffee, I think. One of the most commonly drank coffee? Drank. Another wheelie contender there. But no match for the 777-300 we saw earlier from KLM in the SkyTeam livery. Almost one of the first planes to arrive, and I don't think we've seen anyone do better than that so far. Now the Embraer 190 barrage won't stop just yet. Hey there Frank, goedemiddag. Another Embraer 190 is arriving anytime soon. Origin Berlin, where it left 56 minutes ago. The Embraer we're about to see, 9 years old, first flight January 2014. After that, a Transavia 737 followed by a KLM 737 followed by another Transavia 737. Just checking to see where the big birds are at. There is a Dreamliner arriving from LAX, still flying over the North Sea. Ciao Luca, come stai? It is very sunny over here, except there is a layer of mist and clouds in between us and the sun at the moment still. And only in this part of the country, because several viewers who live more up north or to the east are all unanimously reporting that the sun is out over there. So exactly this part of the country has the worst weather today, so far. Now there's a whole stream of airplanes approaching from over the North Sea, back-to-back traffic. That high-wheeled, narrow-tired vehicle is also starting to do stuff. Extremely wide when that machine is fully deployed, or at least the attachment that is on it. Look at the width. Is it going to do some crop dusting from the ground? Looks like it. all kinds of agricultural vehicles also on display over the course of the weeks over here along the Polderbaan, which is surrounded by grassland and farmland on both sides. Now let me see if I can do better with the focus. There we go. 737 from KLM, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. KLM flight 1228. This airplane is 23 years old, had its first flight in April 2000. Indeed, a strange plane, Jean-Yves. A sailplane, looking at the width of the wings, but it does have holes in it everywhere. Probably why it has difficulty getting up from the ground. There is the next airplane. Now, this is another Transavia 737-800 that is arriving from Corfu. The airplane is also 23 years old and also had its first flight in April 2000. Coincidence? And Remco Karel says that the A380 is coming around 1 o'clock. Good reason to stick around. Although last time I was standing here, what was it, Sunday, Saturday? They reopened 18C and we could only see it from a distance. And unfortunately the visibility at the moment is still not such, but of course that may change in an hour. That you can also see the planes on the glide slope for 18C from over here. Normally you could easily actually, but visibility is still less than optimal, to put it mildly. Now, finding the planes before they touch the ground on this runway has become a little easier, even for the smaller airplanes. Though we cannot see far away and see the whole line of airplanes that are lining up to this runway, for this runway. Meantime, another Embraer 190. And I'm looking at flight radar and see that there's an Embraer, an E195 approaching. Bit of a change. Finally. But soon to be followed by another Embraer 190. E2 Embraer 195 is coming up next. I think I can already see the lights visually, and that makes it a bit easier to target the camera towards it. KLM flight 954, E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Newcastle. This airplane left Newcastle 53 minutes ago and the airplane is still young. 1 year old. First flight was in February 2020. Remco also informing us that there is a 777 from Emirates expected in 20 minutes. Two massive engines with a bit of fuselage stuck in the middle. Still curious which one of the two has the relative biggest engines, the E2 Embraer 195 or the 777-300. Hey Roy, it's been a pleasure to have you on board again. Good to see you. I will undoubtedly see you again before your holiday. Have a nice day, enjoy the rest of the week. Hopefully see you again around the end of the week when I will also be going live again. Next up, Embraer 190, arriving from Berlin. Thank you for your kind words. Travel with Mark F. Although today, not a whole lot to see, unfortunately. It is getting better, but they said it was going to get sunny in the course of the morning. Now, in the meantime, we are in the beginning of the afternoon. It has cleared up a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked to see. Then again, that's just the weather. Cannot do much about it. Next up, Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington. KLM flight 1534. Departed from Darlington 46 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see is 7 years old. First flight March 2016. After that we are going to see a 737 and another Embraer 175. I see that this one has had a nose job. Interesting. The other day we saw a 737, if I recall correctly, in the SkyTeam livery that had a blue nose from KLM. This one a white nose. Next up, Boeing 737-800, KLM flight 1008, arriving from London Heathrow. Left Heathrow 43 minutes ago. The airplane 14 years old, first flight May 2008. I agree there, Mark. The German Leysieffer Chocolaterie livery always looks very nice and tasty. The same with the Vueling. Vueling loves Barcelona and places, liveries that have a lot of children's doodlings on them. Also very nice to look at. Although they are a bit small, the doodlings, so probably better to admire when they are standing still at a gate than when they are passing by you to land or take off. Hey there, Kathy Spotter, good day. Good to see you too. Hope you're doing well. Now one more Embraer 175 and after that another Dreamliner, one of the big 787-10s arriving from LAX, preceded by an Embraer 175 KLM flight 1542 arriving from Leeds, where it left 47 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see is 5 years old and had its first flight in June 2017. Now, I barely have it visually. There it should be, yeah. There it is. Camera also has a bit of difficulty with the low contrast conditions to focus and keep the focus on the airplane. If you have the focus and you keep it centered, it should be alright. You're right there, Mark. Unfortunate that Condor doesn't fly to Amsterdam, at least to my knowledge. I've never seen them here in real life, so to speak. But I did see... I have seen footage of some of their liveries. In that sense, a lot of the traffic that comes to Amsterdam is somewhat dull. Yeah, you do regularly see the SkyTeam livery on the KLM planes or others. You can also sometimes see the Neo special livery, well, insofar as you can call it a Neo special livery on the EasyJets. More or less a sticker on their normal livery. But really exotic stuff, don't see that very frequently. Wish more airline carriers would do a little more, put in more effort to get some more special liveries in their fleets. Retro livery is also always a good idea. So this is KLM flight 604, Boeing 787-10, arriving from LAX. Left LAX 9 hours 55 minutes ago. The airplane 2 years old, first flight May 2020. Yeah, the Fox Gaming, I am sticking around for the A380. Hopefully it will land in front of us. Don't know if I'm going to stay for much longer than that. It's been a slow day. Has been quite slow recently, actually. But I am definitely sticking around for the A380. Hopefully the current runway configuration will stay in place. We have seen parallel arrivals on occasion. Now, just look at the width of that machine. It is really impressive. Don't want to hit the lampposts with the right side of that machine. Another Transavia 737. In a KLM fashion, high speed. Don't slow down too much. Slowing down on the runway and vacate as close to the main platform area as possible. Landing. If you look in the grass, you do see that it is, on paper at least, spring. A lot of dandelions out and about. Hey there, David. Good day to you. Morning still over there. And Wendy, I have no idea. People have reported some issues earlier, then it subsided again without me touching anything. I can have another look. Okay, seems that there is a red light on now on my there's also a red light on my transmitter, so I don't know what that means. Okay, let me just see if maybe restarting the transmitter makes a difference. Just switched off my wireless transmitter and put it on again. There was a red light flashing, but it didn't say on the receiver that I was recording or anything, so maybe there was something going on. How's the sound now? The voiceover sound? Alright, let's see. There are a few heavies on flying base. Yet another Embraer 175 is coming this way. Okay, crackling still here. I have no idea what it can be then. I already made some changes yesterday to lower gain and stuff. Hopefully nothing should be clipping. So I really don't know what else I could do on this side, unfortunately. I'm also not hearing what you guys are hearing as I'm not live monitoring, because that is very confusing if you are talking and you hear yourself talk simultaneously. So I will need to listen back to the stream once I get home. First airplane to arrive is an Embraer 175, arriving from Bergen, where it left an hour and 12 minutes ago. The airplane 5 years old, first flight February 2018. After that we are going to see a 777 from Emirates Sky Cargo, arriving from Aguadilla. And after the 777 we'll see an A330 from Delta, arriving from Minneapolis. Now there's also a 777 arriving from the east of the country. And where is the Emirates A380? Still over East Germany in the vicinity of Erfurt. First up, the Embraer 175 arriving from Bergen, just about visible in the distance. Hey Rick, goedemiddag. Alles goed? Larry Brown, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Now, first up, Emirates Sky Cargo 777 arriving from Aguadilla, where it departed 6 hours 58 minutes ago. 777 freighter, 1 year old. First flight April 2022. And hey there, Lani Nepomuceno, if I somewhat pronounce that properly. Happy to see you on the stream. Welcome. Thanks for your kind words. And no, Rick, it isn't overcast. This is fog dissolving, not quickly enough. If you look at the weather conditions during the beginning of the stream, you can see that it was actually fog over here, and you can still see the poor visibility over here. And it seems that everybody who lives outside of the Randstad is currently having sunny weather in the Netherlands. A330 300 Delta Airlines arriving from Minneapolis, where it left 7 hours 50 minutes ago. The airplane we're about to see touch down is 15 years old and had its first flight in August 2007. Oh, okay. Overcast near Eindhoven, Amelie says. So it's only the east and the north apparently that have better weather than the rest of the country. Although I think overcast is probably better than foggy. At least you can see some things on ground level. But it's still not what you would like to see in the beginning of May. Now let's quickly turn around the camera. There is a special livery coming in from Warsaw, from Poland, from LOT, an Embraer 195 in the Warmia Mazury livery. By the looks of it, that means that something is different on the tail of the airplane mostly. Embraer 195 long range left Warsaw an hour and 39 minutes ago. The airplane 10 years old, first flight January 2013. So, I don't know if this is an artist, if this is a place name, or the name of an organization. If anybody has more background details, do share them. I for one will be curious to learn more about this Warmia Mazury, who or what it is. Next, EasyJet A320neo arriving from Edinburgh. Now they do start to become a bit better visible than they have been so far. Still can't see them very far away, but the narrow bodies are now also a bit better visible than a few hours ago. So this Neo is just 3 years old. First flight April 2020. Next, an unmarked A320, but it has the call sign of Turkish. Says Smartlinks here. Maybe that's a leasing company, I don't know. Arriving from Istanbul, where it left 3 hours 15 minutes ago. The airplane 12 years old, first flight June 2010. And Yellow Fox Gaming, it was quite the weather yesterday with thunderstorms and hailstones here and there, particularly in the afternoon. The atmosphere very unstable yesterday. Also hardly any wind. Saw it on the news, floodings here and there in Brabant, just because there was no wind. Oh, in the meantime, the airplane has been given an Untitled Chapter upgrade of the livery. Next up, two Boeing 737s. The first one, a KLM Boeing 737-900 arriving from Milan. KLM flight 1620 left Milan an hour and 24 minutes ago. The airplane 21 years old, first flight October 2001. There it is. Whoa, and we can even see the airplanes taxiing back to the main platform area now, so definitely a bit of an improvement. And Remco informing us that there's another 777 arriving shortly. I think it's going to be number 3. First, a Transavia Boeing 737-800 arriving from Thessaloniki in Greece. It looks like there's also an airplane arriving from the west that's going to be number 2 before the 777, but then Emirates 777, number 3 most likely in a few minutes. So again, this is the Transavia 737-800, Transavia flight 5806, arriving from Thessaloniki, where it left 2 hours 44 minutes ago. This airplane is 12 years old, had its first flight in May 2010. Well, Amelie, I for one haven't been to the new Istanbul airport yet, but by the sound of it, from what you're describing, it looks like a nice place to stay for a few hours if you have to. Incoming next, Aer Lingus in the Irish rugby team livery, arriving from Dublin, flight 604, A320 departed an hour and 1 minute ago from Dublin. 18 years old, the airplane. First flight, January 2005. After that, we are going to see the Emirates Sky Cargo 777 arriving from Dubai. First, the Rugby team special livery A320 from Aer Lingus. Don't have it inside visually yet. Take this moment to take a quick sip of water then. How's the voiceover audio at the moment? Is it still the same as before? In the meantime, there's also a tractor coming this way. I think I can just about see the landing lights of the Aer Lingus. Okay, audio still fine. Okay, well, when I'm done streaming and once I get home, I'll listen back, see if I can identify what it might be. I think the most likely candidate for the voiceover issues is interference of the wireless signal. I don't think there's a chance of the audio clipping anywhere. And you're probably also hearing it when I'm not speaking very loudly, which makes it also a little less likely that it can be clipping, and probably is something different. I'll look into it. Hopefully it's something I can fix, but I cannot promise anything beforehand. Alright then, next airplane is visible already. It is the 777 from Emirates, the Emirates Sky Cargo flight 9989, inbound from Dubai, where it left 6 hours 40 minutes ago. This 777 freighter, 10 years old, first flight December 2012. I agree, Yorkshire. Big engines, although a bit quiet. They could have used the reverse thrust a little more there, at least for our entertainment purposes. Now, Remco says another 777 from KLM, originating from Atlanta in 13 minutes inbound. Number 3 next is going to be Icelandair Flight 500. That is a Boeing 767-300ER in the old livery. Also a nice looker. It's going to be preceded by a Norwegian Airlines Max Manus livery 737 arriving from Oslo. Boeing left 1 hour and 18 minutes ago. The airplane, 11 years old, had its first flight in May 2011. Oh. And good afternoon, Manly Travels. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Huh. Hey George, goedemiddag, good afternoon. Now, the next airplane to arrive is going to be KLM Flight 1354, Embraer 190, arriving from Prague, where it left an hour and 7 minutes ago. The airplane, 11 years old, first flight January 2012. Now let's quickly turn around the camera, because next is the 767 from Icelandair. Where is it? Is it visible already? There it is. Icelandair Flight 500, arriving from Reykjavik, where it left 2 hours 38 minutes ago. Boeing 767-300ER, this one 23 years old, first flight February 2000. I think you're right, Lance. I think that the E2's engines, relative to the fuselage diameter, are probably the biggest. We would have to get a tape measure and measure it to know for sure, but at first glance I think you're right. Remco informing us that the A380 is now above the Netherlands. And Luca, when are you coming to Amsterdam? Have you booked something already? Now this is a textbook KLM landing. High speed, exiting late, shortening the taxi time to the gate by as much as possible. Now, looking further out to the road that you see over there, it does seem that the sun is out over there already. And zooming out and looking up, you should be able to see a few patches of blue here and there. But on the other hand, if I look to the south, it is still very much hazy, if not outright foggy. So the sun really has to work hard to get a bit of visibility back here in the west, unfortunately. Oh, and Remco says that the sun is away in Arnhem. Dark clouds are coming in now. That doesn't sound very good. They did say rain showers were going to arrive in the east of the country later in the day. I hope for you guys that that moment is not now already, as the afternoon has only just begun. Get a repetition of what happened yesterday in most of the country. So, EasyJet A320 Neo in the Neo livery arriving from Palma de Mallorca, where it left 2 hours 16 minutes ago. The airplane brand new, first flight last December. August would be a good month to come to Amsterdam, Luca. September, it's also still reasonably good weather, at least in the first half. Cathay Spotter has to go already. Thank you for joining us once again, and I hope to see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of the week. Now, just checking flight radar. A380 getting closer and closer by. At the moment everything still seems to be directed to this runway. Let me also have a quick look at the app that shows the current runway usage. At the moment still 18 right, the only runway for arrivals, so fingers crossed. We might see the A380 up close today then. That would be a nice way to end this somewhat bland stream. The weather has been a bit of a disappointment, unfortunately. Really had hoped that the sun would have been out by now. But that's just one of those things that you cannot control. There's still hardly any wind also, so hardly any wind to blow away the moisture as well. You can see, insofar as you can see reflection of anything in terms of clouds, the water is still very much like a mirror. The only ripples are being caused by birds or fish. Now, another big bird incoming. Triple 300 ER, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 7 years old. First flight February 2016. Alright, Frank has to go, goodbye, hope to see you again soon, thanks for joining us, and the same also for Luca. Ciao Luca, have a nice day, see you again later hopefully. Now, in the meantime, what is coming next? First up, an Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Billund. After that we are going to see an A320neo from Vueling arriving from Barcelona. After that it is a 737-800 arriving from Madrid from KLM. And then another Icelandair arriving from Reykjavik, this time round the 737 Max 8. There we go. Camera still finding it hard to focus in on the airplanes. So, KLM flight 1344, Embraer 190 arriving from Billund. The airplane 12 years old. First flight August 2010. And Radioactive Aviation, hi there. Hope you're doing well. Saying he hasn't been to Amsterdam since he went to Atlanta in 2018-19. So it's been a while then. The question is, when will you be coming back then? And Christy D says, love the sound of the reverse thrusters. I totally agree. We haven't heard too much of them today. A few big birds did deploy them, but we should hold a petition, organize a petition for airplane pilots to use more reverse thrust, particularly if they see cameras lined up next to the runway. So this is Welling. Arriving from Alicante 2 hours 30 minutes ago. Already hearing the brakes. Oh dear, this does not look good. 18C also reopened. I see airplanes going in that direction. So that's not good news for the A380. Murphy's Law, weather not good, visibility not good. I think you might also not see the A380. Remco, have you heard that on ATC, that it's being directed to 18 right? Or is that just wishful thinking? Because I totally hope for the same, but is it something you heard confirmed on ATC, that it's coming to 18C? That would be great. At least a little silver lining to begin the week with. Now, first up, Icelandair 737 Max 8, new livery. Bit fuzzy. That's better. Right, so the Max 8 arriving from Reykjavik 2 hours 47 minutes ago. It departed from Iceland. This airplane 3 years old. First flight June 2019. Now the other day we also saw an Icelandair that had like a yellow stripe where the light blue stripe on the tail is on this airplane. I have to say I like that better. Now it's all blue and a bit monotonous. Okay, next up, Air Transat. We've seen it, I think it was on Saturday before. A321neo arriving from Toronto. So this little narrow body has come across the ocean. Left Toronto 7 hours 6 minutes ago. The airplane 2 years old. First flight was in June 2020. Okay, the A380 does in fact seem to be going this way, following the traffic pattern, or at least is being directed to the glide slope. Not coming here? 18C. Oh yeah. It did. So it was redirected to 18C after all. All the other airplanes still going to 18 right, but not the one that most people are coming to see. This is a Corendon Boeing 737-800. It is arriving from Palma de Mallorca, where it left 2 hours 20 minutes ago. This airplane, 11 years old, first flight November 2011. Hey Koenie, goedemiddag. Now, let me see if I can see the A380 somewhere in the distance. You guys can see visibility rather poor still. I'm foregoing the A320 from Air France that is now about to touch down on 18 right. I'm looking to see if I can make out the A380. When the sky is blue, the visibility is unimpeded. We would be able to see it by now. So I'm thinking it is still flying in the clouds. So it should be behind the Air France. Ah, got it. Where is it? Ah, there it is. So yeah, we began the stream with a queen and we're going to end with this king. Well, thank you Lance and Yorkshire for your kind words. I feel it has been somewhat of a letdown today's stream with the weather and also the runway usage. Saturday this same thing happened to us, only being able to see the Emirates from afar. This is already being zoomed in the most I can. Well, the upside is at least we get to see it. Around the time of the beginning of the stream we wouldn't have been able to. But, oh, there it is. I was about to say, following it on the ground is still hard from over here. But yeah, that's the weather. Now folks, I am going to wrap it up for today. For those of you who have joined me and have stayed around, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have been able to do another live stream for you guys. I wish the weather was better. I will look back, listen to the audio, see if I can find what you guys were hearing, and hopefully find a solution for that at some point. Although my suspicion is that it is interference on the wireless signal, but I'll have a look, see if I can do something about it. Tomorrow and Wednesday I won't be going live. I am looking to go live again on Thursday, weather permitting. I hope that I will see you then. If not, then hopefully I will see you all at a later stream. For now, have a nice rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you again soon and take care. Bye for now.